Hello, everybody. We are live. Wine and Three is back in session. Let's see if we can do this a little bit. There we go. We'll get Manuel. Yep, there he is. Let's get him in there. Well, all right, make sure everything's live. There he is. Manuel, good to see you again.
You too, Pete.
Very good. Good Sunday. Got a lot of stuff done today, so it's good.
Atta boy.
There you go. Got to knock out those errands, right?
Oh yeah. It's productive for you. It's good.
Yeah. I don't do anything the rest of the week, so.
Oh no.
Just too busy.
Just a hermit in the house. Stay in the house.
It's just too much going on, and then I'm at the end of the day, I'm just spent, so I don't really.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yes.
It's the way it is. The way it is. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining, and I'll get started. Welcome, everybody. This is Wine and Three. I am Pete, founder of Great American Nosh and other Nosh entities, where we live by the mantra, eat, drink, savor. We believe there's more to just eating and drinking and savoring life. And as part of our programming, we do some wine education and appreciation, and that's why we have this program. I have Emmanuel Montevecchi here. He is my wine guy at Total Wine in Danvers. And every few weeks, he picks out some interesting wines for us to try that, frankly, for us, it's a good lesson in removing bias in terms of label, price, name, producer, region, anything that comes under the sun. And the three part of Wine and Three is really we cover three areas of wine, region, the grape, the producer, and then we obviously go into more. We talk a little bit about geek stuff as well. And we also taste the two wines that Emmanuel has picked out. Emmanuel, say hello, everyone.
Hello.
There we go.
How are you doing?
Great. All right. So we got some interesting ones. I did bang my head against the wall researching one of them, but so
no, that sounds painful.
It is. It was very frustrating, but it's okay. I'll learn. So we have two. We've stayed in the New World from our 2 weeks ago. We are picking one wine from Argentina, Emmanuel's home country, and we're moving next door into Chile. And there's some interesting reds here that Emmanuel has picked out. And I'm going to add two little things about the New World wines and some interesting things about these countries, and then Emmanuel can add about that and obviously talk about the wines he's picked. Malbec was originally a grape that was grown in France. And when I guess the Spanish missionaries brought it down with them, when they were populating the countries down in South America, and apparently this grape really took on a new life in Argentina, and it really has flourished in Argentina, and Argentina is now known for its Malbecs. And the other thing is with Chile. Their grape, which they call their own now, is Carmen, which is really a variety of Merlot that was from France. So both of these countries have now their own grape, really. Not now, but obviously this has evolved into their own grape, their own strengths. And I know we're talking a little bit about Cabernet here, but I know they do a little blending here with these grapes. But and I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll let Emmanuel add in some things that I probably didn't know. So.
All right. So the first person to join is my buddy Peter. Pete, what's up? There you are. Yeah. So yes, going into the wines, the
yep.
Edmundo, right there.
There we go. Yes, the Edmundo.
The wine is, is a really it's a really good buy. I'm not going to get into price now. We're going to talk about price later.
Yeah.
So, what's going on is this is caught on like wildfire, actually. Just this weekend alone, myself, I've sold 4 cases on Friday and Saturday. I mean, we got, I don't know, probably about, 20 cases in-house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a really great value, quality wine that here, here with North, yourself, Pete, Great American Nosh and myself, we're big on that here, with the programming that we do. Quality wines for low cost.
Low cost.
Because there's a misconception with low cost means you won't get, a nice, well-rounded wine. But we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out tonight how we feel about that.
Great.
So the Edmundo, the family, the Correas family, the gentleman here. Let's see, Sir Juan de Dios Correas.
Yep.
Okay, so this is probably we're looking at the late 1880s, if I remember correctly.
It's 1798, right? I think I got that right.
What's that?
1798.
1798.
Yep. Is this the guy?
Yeah. Yes, you're right. There it is. Oh, perfect, Pete.
There's the guy. There's the founder.
Yes, I stand corrected. Thank you. Thank you for that. So 1798.
Yep.
The gentleman, Sir Edward Dios Correas, started this vineyard in Mendoza, as we know from the last show that we did. Mendoza is the prime area for a lot of these the Malbecs.
That's right. That's right.
They're situated near the Andes, where they'll get runoff from the snow, which helps to irrigate as well as the vineyards. Which is a nice piece to the viticulture there. So in any case, this gentleman Edmundo, Ed, as the wine is called, he later on took the vineyard and he started branding. Because what had happened was initially, let me back up for a second. What had happened initially was he was helpful to.
Was he just growing grapes? Was he just growing grapes for others?
Grapes, right? That's what I was getting at. Yeah, he was growing grapes. Sir Eduardo Dios Correas was growing grapes for a while and was helping out within that area with other wineries. And then Correas, Edmundo, took over, and then he had the brand. He promoted the brand.
Got it.
Became fairly well known.
Yep. In the mid-70s, I think 1974 is when he
1974 is when, yes, that's right, exactly. 1974. Yeah. So that's over 43 years ago. And then he, crafted this bottle here, the Ed.
Yep. Okay.
That we just pulled.
Yeah. So there's the Ed. Yeah. So the reason why this is the one that got me frustrated because.
Okay.
I tried to figure out the source of this wine, and the Edmundo is part of the Grupo Petaflor wine consortium, and there's about 10 wineries in this group. There are about 60 different vineyards. I think they're the #1 Malbec producer in Argentina. And I really had a hard time. I really couldn't figure out where this wine was sourced from. I mean, I did find one of their cool little pictures, which is not kind of neat.
It's
that's gorgeous. I think that is their.
Absolutely.
I think I don't know which one that is, but I think that's the Finca Agrelo estate. But this is an estate wine, but that was it. That's what I ran into. I just couldn't get any data on the Edmundo other than why it was named that and who it was and stuff like that. But because I went through each winery and I couldn't figure out, and none of the Edmundos popped up, and I'm like, all right, who made this?
Right, exactly, and this is what happens. It can happen a lot. I think it seems to happen more often. I think with some of these wines out of South America.
Yeah.
That we ran across a little bit in the last program. Just because, I mean, First of all, the Edmundo is a Cabernet. Let's state that. It's not a
Yeah,
Malbec.
yeah, it's a Cabernet. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So they have other wineries. They have a whole hearty lineup. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely,
You know.
absolutely, and so I mean, it's the grape itself. It's prolific in Argentina, but it is Malbec. That Malbecs through Mendoza make up 2/3 of the grapes. What's being grown in the country of Argentina comes out of Mendoza.
Yep.
Right.
Got it.
So
All right. Right. That's right. We talked about that before. Yeah, 2/3 is Malbecs. Yeah. All
yes,
right.
That's right.
And that's why you picked this, because this is definitely not Malbec. It's going to be a little bit of a different take. I'm kind of interested. And I'm going to switch gears. I'm interested about this Carmen wine you picked.
Yes.
This is Carmen Gran Reserva Cabernet. It's 2018. Now this one I got a little bit more information on, but this one is from Chile, and single vineyard. Again, another old source of family here. Started by Christian Lanz in 1850. It was named for his wife, from what I gathered.
That's right. Yep.
And then 1987 they got bought out by a bigger wine concern called Grupo Claro. And then so one of the pictures I got was kind of this one, which was really gorgeous. So if you can see that, that's nice. It's one of their vineyards. It's beautiful. And they're in the appellation. It's a DO, they call it in Chile. It's a Mapo, right? Am I saying that right? Mapo?
I've heard it called
Mapo.
Mapo, I think Mapo is the correct pronunciation.
Got it.
It's a single vineyard estate.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Mapo is like the premier appellation, I believe, for Chile, right?
That's the prime spot. That's the prime spot. And once again, I know we mentioned the geography of this. The geography is important here because the Andes is basically what separates Chile and Argentina. That's what we're talking about here. Yeah,
exactly. So, like, I got my little map. Here we go. I'm going to show you the Argentina one. Here we go. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about Mendoza, right?
There it is.
All right. And then we're going to go to Chile. Of course, I lost it. I had it. Where did it go? No. There it is. Chile. Okay. Chile. There we go. And there's Chile on the other side.
There you go, Pete. Yeah.
Right there. And you're right. And the Andes are right in the middle of it, right?
That's right.
Yep, exactly. So definitely influenced by the Andes here. And a couple other things I wanted to share. I learned in terms of, they're really. I think both Argentina and Chile are focusing on single vineyard wines. I think they originally started as kind of blending wines, and now they're all focused on just single plots. And I think other parts of the world are doing that too. But I think South America is starting to catch up on that too.
Right now, not sorry to interrupt, but like the previous program, once again, piggybacking off of that. Yeah. The Benegas winery there. That was a single estate. That was the Malbec there. Got it. Single estate from Argentina.
Yeah, and then the winemaker for Carmen is this young lady.
Yeah.
She's a winemaker.
Female winemaker.
Yeah. She's the chief winemaker. Her name is Emily Falconer, I believe, is her name.
That's right.
Yeah. And there's two other winemakers for that winery, but she's the chief. She took over all the premium labels for the winery. She actually just came on board in 2017, and I was interested because we have an 18 here, so this is probably her first one, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So this is going to be really exciting. I'm pumped. I'm pumped about that.
I'm excited. I'm really excited for this particular segment, that we're doing tonight. What I was going to say is, as far as, I don't know if we should delve into. We'll delve into this later. The accolades involved with both the wines. We'll delve in that later.
Oh yeah. I was going to add something about somebody. Yeah.
Maybe we should, do the tasting, and then we'll roll it out later. That way we can.
All right. Well, so what do you want to go for first here?
I don't
We
know.
do the
Dealer's
Untitled?
choice. What would you like to do first?
I want to. The Carmen's got me very intrigued, and I just love the story.
Very
And
good. Carmen, it is.
you know, let's do
Right.
let's do the Carmen. You know, my lighting here is horrible, but folks, it's got a nice ruby thing going here.
Oh yeah.
Right up to the rim. Again, this is a very young one, so you're just really expecting a lot of just color all the way up to the rim of that glass, so the rim of the edge of that wine. So, oh, jammy. Okay. I got a little
Oh yeah.
jam.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's like like a raspberry, red raspberry, something like that. Nice.
What do you think? Like a cassis?
Maybe I got raspberry, but
That's like a supercharged raspberry for some people who may not
like
know.
an overripe raspberry. That's right.
Overripe. Okay.
An overripe raspberry. Where
Right.
it's kind of just soft and mushy a little bit. You squeeze it, yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I'm getting.
All
no
right.
black.
What else are you getting? I'm getting a little. I don't want to say like dusty, some sort of
musty.
barnyard
horsehair thing. No leather.
No, no leather.
No leather. I'm almost getting like a raisin here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think you're on with that. You're on top of that, Pete. I get raisin.
Yeah.
I get that nuance.
Oh. No. I was thinking I just got a whiff of beeswax, but I don't think so. But
Beeswax, huh? That's a little unusual.
yeah, it's not something you would smell in red here, but no, maybe a different type of red you would get. But.
Okay. Now this is the Grand Reserva, as we're saying. This is the Carmen. This is this one.
Yeah,
here.
This is the Carmen. This is very good stuff here. I have to say, of the last several weeks, the aroma on this has just been so. I'm very impressed with the aroma on this. I mean, it's just the bouquets. There's always something else I'm picking up. I mean, really complex.
Yeah, complex. There's some elegance there, maybe. I mean, it's dynamic. It's dynamic. It's
not. We've had some wines that have been oof in your nose, and then others where just you couldn't smell anything.
Right.
This is like right in the middle, perfect, like a perfect aroma coming out of it. It's not like, oh, what is that on the top end? I'm getting some floral stuff here too. I can't pick my eye on it, but
yeah, no, I get floral for sure.
Yeah, maybe a little rose. I don't know. It's
okay.
We're all over the map on this one. Well, it's not lavender, but I don't know. There's a lot of impressive things to say about this so far. I hope this doesn't disappoint me.
I hope so too, Pete, because I mean the way you're discussing this, this thing it has to be monumental.
Oh my God, I can smell this all night.
All right, there you go. We'll get you a candle. I'll send this over for Christmas. We'll get you a candle.
Yeah, we'll get a wax. Yeah, we'll get a candle set.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, I'm gonna take a dive in.
Go for it.
Yep. Tannins right up front.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this gets right to you. I mean, it doesn't mess around. The tannins, yeah, they come
right there. Bang. Right, yeah, you're right.
On entry. Now, people out there, just to reiterate, I know Pete's mentioned this before plenty of times, but wine tasting there's a systematic way to do it.
Yes.
You don't just pour the wine. I'm gonna geek out a little bit, but you don't just pour the wine in the glass. It has to, you gotta put it in. You gotta put it in the glass. Make sure you let it breathe for at least a half an hour. Some wines need to breathe even more than 45 minutes.
Yes. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Right.
I fell down on the job and I got distracted by the
That's
smell,
okay.
and I
I'm
didn't
your
tell people what
supporter.
the hell I was
I'm here
doing.
for you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So he and I both advocate aerating red wines. I did. This was a two hour aeration for me. Um, I
Okay.
figured I figure with cab, I wanted to give it a little bit more room. It's young, so it'd be fine. But I figured 2 hours would be plenty.
No, no, absolutely. I mean,
And
if you put that time into it, you're not going to be disappointed. It's only going to help. I think as well, when we talked about when the last segment we did, I
yeah,
think almost the day after with some of these Malbecs, some of these high, sometimes acidic, tannic wines.
yes,
Like
it
that's
does.
why you give it 2 hours or even the day after. Sometimes it's a different wine,
Yeah, you're right. Because those wines we had last week, they tasted. They weren't. I mean, they didn't blow me away, but they tasted
Right.
definitely a little bit better the next day. And as some with food, taste a little bit better. This one's very just. I want to just gobble it, quaff it down now. I mean,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Now the last segment we did the Benegas wine, the Malbec Estate. Just to remind people, when
Hmm.
when you put it on YouTube, the Benegas Malbec, and we did the Felino, which is Paul Hobbs. We did his
Yeah,
Malbec as well 2 weeks ago.
that's right. Yeah, and the Hobbs, he's got some good stuff coming out too from his California stuff too.
Oh yeah, Hobbs is premier. He's a
Yeah,
premier
he's a
wine.
premier. Yeah,
He's on the pulse.
yeah, he's no joke. He's no joke.
Yeah, he's legit.
This has got a nice long finish. Yeah, so
I
there.
definitely get raspberry. You get the
Yeah,
raspberry still, right?
I still get raspberry. Yep,
The
I
finish
get it.
lingers for a little while. You would say that, yes? The finish lingers
It
for a little while.
it does linger. It does linger. I like lingering. I like that with a Cabernet, and I think the tannins are lingering too. They hit you on the front, and then they disappear in the middle, and they come right in on the back when it goes down your throat. So, um, oh boy, I love this one. This one, I like this one.
All right, here we go.
Yeah,
Hit the mark with this one. So this is
I
the Grand
did.
Reserva, the
Yeah,
Carmen
the
Grand
Grand Reserve.
Reserva, the year
Well,
vintage.
yeah,
What do we say?
2018, right? Yeah,
Yes, 2018.
yeah.
There it is.
Emily came through here. Bravo. So, all right. So let's.
Once again, just to reiterate. So for the Carmen Grand Reserva, it's the female winemaker Emily.
Yeah,
What's the last name?
Emily Falconer. Yep.
Thank you, Pete. Falconer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And she joined in 2017. I forget where she was before that, but she's a rock star.
Yeah. This is a dynamo here. I
Yep.
like it as well.
Yeah.
I
Really
think it's
good.
got a fairly good balance to it. It's
Yeah.
got a nice finish. It lingers for a little while.
Yeah. It does. It's got that nice, like we talk about balance. We always talk about balanced wines. Like it's got the aroma, it's got the nice look. It gets it on the front, middle, and the back. Some wines we've had where just there was no aroma, or there was no finish, or the front was just nothing there. So far, it's good. All right, I'm gonna rinse my palate because
Yes, we should.
mm. Okay. Now let's go to the Edmundo. Let's see if I can.
All right.
Yeah, I mean
The moment of truth here. The moment of truth.
this one looks a little bit more darker than the Carmen, but it's just a variance, a little nuanced. But that has a different smell. I just took just a glance at smelling of it. Oh, that smells like an oaky thing going on in here, but I don't know. They don't do much for oak, do they? What do they do here? It's like
Well,
it's like wow. All right. It's definitely a black fruit.
no doubt. Yeah, no doubt of that.
Yep. Black currant. Um,
Yeah,
I don't think it's not sweet enough to be black cherry or anything else. I don't.
I think you're on it. Yeah, the black currant, black fruit.
Black fruit. It's not. It doesn't have that complex aroma as the Carmen.
It doesn't. It's still somewhat, very approachable. A little. It's still inviting,
Yep.
but the
Yep.
Carmen, yeah.
Exactly. It's I'll tell you, it's. I mean, it's still not off. It's not off-putting. It's. I mean, it's. You're obviously we're comparing two wines here, but if I was just drinking this alone, I'd be like, okay, what does that smell? I thought I smelled dirty laundry in that one. Okay, like a wet rag.
Wet rag. So it's like it's a little bit of it's a little basement funkiness maybe.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like when you leave your wash in the washer overnight and you forget to put it in the dryer.
Yeah.
It's that smell.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's like it's must. It's a musty kind of thing.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, I nailed that one. Okay.
You're getting pretty good, Pete. You know what I mean? You're pretty soon. I'm sure you're gonna be writing that book, right?
I'm gonna be writing my own book. Yeah, like from being a paper boy to a wine guy.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
Oh yeah, the mustiness really comes through. Wet laundry and black currant.
Oh, they go hand in hand, like no one's business.
Is that? I mean, I'm getting that. I can't. Am I getting anything else? Nothing else is jumping out at me. I don't smell much for spice.
No, I'm agreeing. No, I concur completely. That's what I'm definitely smelling that. Absolutely.
I mean, in terms of floral, I don't have any floral notes. I mean, really black fruit and then, that musty thing going on. I don't have any vegetable things going on here either, but or earth.
Earth, yeah. I think with the earthiness, you get that with the Malbecs. We got that a little bit last segment.
That's right. We did. We get a lot of earthy elements into those Malbecs.
Once again, these are Cabernets. The previous one was Carmen Reserve from Chile. This is Edmundo from Argentina. Yep,
that's the Edmundo, the one we're doing, the one I'm baffling about it right now. And this is the Carmen, which we just tasted earlier. All right, Emmanuel. I unless you come up with another scent, I'm going to go diving in. So.
All right, go deep. Go deep.
Yeah,
there you go.
Folks, this is the best part about this wine. I mean, we'd spend like 20 minutes not even drinking it yet. So. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Mm. Yes. A lot of fruit. Lingers for a little bit.
Yeah, it's like Carmen was up front right away. This was not up front. It was like a build up, middle, then back, and like. Okay.
This is well. It's a round. It's a round wine. When I say that, right, folks out there.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, it's like a good story, right? So it's got a beginning, middle, and end. Good structure.
Yeah, definitely good structure. I think. Well, this is a 2019, so.
Right. This is the 19. Now, the other one was the 18 for the Carmen Reserva. The vintages, I changed it up a little bit this time around in the sense that two different countries. Normally, I haven't done that.
No, that's right. Yeah, usually we stick to one like appellation or DO. Yeah. You did. This is. I mean, for a 19. When did they harvest? They harvest their southern hemisphere, so they harvest at a different time. But
right.
Right.
For those of you who don't know, we have alternate seasons.
Yep.
So we're going into the winter, and for example, you know, in Argentina, they're basically going into the summer.
Yeah. Yeah. Through
Chile,
spring and summer. Yeah.
the continent
Right.
there in South America, they're going into summer.
That's right. It's spring now, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So so when they're planting, they're not planting. When the vines are growing, they're growing now.
Right.
And okay, got it. All right. So basically, in March or maybe March or April is when they harvest, right? Is that about right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds right. What do you think? What's your assessment, Pete?
I don't know. I think this is we got some winners here.
You know, we haven't had a tie yet. I mean, you know, it could, you know, but I mean, this one, and I'm gonna put it out there pretty soon, but we're gonna wait. I want you to let's have a little bit more dialogue around this, Bob.
No, that's fine. I think the tannins are very muted though. They're not like as strong as the Carmen.
Right. Right.
But it doesn't matter. I think the fruit really comes through. Really not much for acidity here. Nice. I'd say it's kind of a medium body, I guess. It's not really heavy body.
Yeah, it's not heavy.
Not heavy. Nice finish. It's not as long as the other one, which is fine. I think it's a well-rounded wine. I think it really has a lot going for it. I mean, the aroma is a little muted compared to Carmen, but so what? The mute is, a lot of people don't want that big aroma in their face when they,
So let me put it down in terms of this. The Carmen Reserva, I think with the olfactory, with the points of interest around the aromatics, very nice, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it had a lot to offer, a lot of nuances. The Edmundo, like, we're going to use that word muted again. So it was kind of muted, but the wine in itself, when you drink it, the Edmundo, I think, has a lot to offer.
Yeah.
Well-rounded, as we're stating.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Edmundo being similar to a Zinfandel from Lodi? It's kind of reminding me of that. Am I off on that?
It is. I think the Zinfandel's got more fruit, more. I think it's got more body, more fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more. I call it more juicy, I guess is probably how you do it. But
okay.
Not a very technical term, folks. But
that's all right.
Zinfandel's got that a whole lot of fruit in your mouth thing. More body, I think.
Mm-hmm.
This has got more tannin than a Zinfandel, I think. Not as much, not a lot, not like a lot. I know the Carmen. I would say the Edmundo is closer to the Zinfandel than the Carmen is.
Yes, that's what I'm meaning. The Edmundo, yes, right. The Edmundo reminds me of a Zinfandel because to me it has almost a little jamminess almost.
Yeah. I'm gonna go dive back into the Carmen because I'm intrigued now.
All right.
Because that was a very good sip of wine on that Edmundo.
Absolutely.
All the aromas are still there. Nothing's changed. Yeah. You know what? I'm kind of leaning to the Edmundo a little bit. I think the tannins are more favorable with the Edmundo.
You think they're a little more? There's a certain balance to the Edmundo. There's a nice finish.
Yeah. So the tannins on the Carmen are up front, but it doesn't carry through the end of the wine, and the fruit isn't pronounced enough to kind of carry the wine through after that. I think the Edmundo one. Yeah, the tannin's there, and it brings the fruit back. That Edmundo, that's a winner. That is a winner. The Carmen's really good, folks. I'm not trashing this wine. I mean, that's going to get drunk. I don't. That's not going to get thrown down the sink like some things we've had. If you.
Right.
We didn't throw it down the sink. We used it for cooking, but.
Well, sure. Sure. You know, I mean, and once again, the rule would be any chef would tell you, any professional chef, anyone you're going to cook with, you're going to drink. It's not, you know, you're not putting a low, low value wine in your cooking. You're going to drink. If you're going to
No,
drink it, then you're going to
no.
put it in your cooking.
But anything that's marginal, we always put it in our cooking. I can't.
Right. Right.
I have a hard
Because
time
that won't go
dumping
to
wine down
waste.
the
It won't
sink.
go to waste.
It won't go to waste. They'll be used. Obviously, there's some flavor notes in there that will complement the cook.
Right.
Wow. All right. So let's
So
shift gears. I'm going to talk about accolades because you brought that up, right?
Right. So if I
Yep.
can interject the piece here. So here it is, folks. Okay. We had the Carmen Reserva. You want to put that on the screen there, Pete?
Yep. Here's the Carmen
Grand
Reserva. Yeah.
So the
Yep.
last 8 years, this wine here, the Carmen Reserva, the 2018.
Yep.
All right. We're talking what it hit 93 points, 92 points.
Yeah. 92 with Suckling, right?
Suckling. Yeah, and if you believe in that guy, which sometimes I don't, but
Nah.
the last 8 years, this wine has been the accolade, and it has been credited with being a really great wine.
Yeah.
The Carmen Reserva, 1999, right?
Yeah.
1999. Here we go, right, with the Ed. The
Yeah.
Ed also has an accolade. It's got, now, I'm going to brag a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
I was selling this wine a year and a half ago, and I knew it was a good wine then, before it got its rating.
Yeah.
It was a good wine then. And it was catching on a little bit here and there. They brought it into my place, my wine shop. They brought it in. We have a ridiculous amount of cases, and now it's just selling, like I said, like wildfire in the beginning of the show. This wine is $9.99.
$9.99, folks. And Suckling giving it 91 points. I mean,
and I don't, $9.99.
$9.99, and then I forget how much was the Carmen. Tell me what that Carmen was.
It was $19.99, and then $17.99 with the mix 6.
With the mix 6, yep. So $17.99. So for us, it's like that's an amazing. I'm psyched when I find wines like sub 20 that are like this. These are really good. And folks, if you don't know who James Suckling is, James Suckling kind of made his name as sort of the wine guy, one of the cheap wine people that drink hundreds and thousands of glasses of wine every year, and they give us all the ratings and stuff for Wine Spectator. He left, I don't know how many years ago, but he struck out on his own. And I was actually on his website checking his sort of columns on Argentina and Chile, and he's saying this is like the place to find value. He's definitely gaga about it. He feels like there's a lot of great stuff. He said, it doesn't mean everything's great. It just means there's a lot of good stuff to be had here. And just like any other place you buy wine in any other region, you can find some bad wines, but for the most part, he said these two countries are definitely stepping up their game. He's not a slouch, folks. You may disagree with some of his wine pairings, his wine tastings, just like Robert Parker and any of those wine critics. You got to find the wine critic that you like, that you find similar taste to. Again, palate is very subjective, folks. What I like, my wife may not. Same thing with Manuel. He may like something, I may not like it. Again, but when you get a consensus of people buying tons of cases from Manuel about the Edmundo, that means it's really striking a chord with a lot of different palates. So
it is. I mean, I run into people. I'll break off and just tell a quick little anecdote. Okay, so yep. I mean, some people. I had one particular customer, and they like certain wines. They like Napa. They like Paso Robles. These are common areas, they may have never tried a wine from Chile, a wine from Argentina. Yeah. So I'd say for that price, you can give it a shot. This particular customer, you can just give it a try. I mean, never mind. Some people, they'll come in to the place, my shop, and they'll say, yep. I want wines that are 90 points and above. Okay, fine, if you want to do that, but that doesn't mean you're going to like the wine.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting to me when I ask people, and I'm going to digress in a moment, but when I ask people, well, they tell me a specific wine. Say they like, I don't know, J. Lore. That's a common brand, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
J. Lore. And I said, what do you like about that wine? Well, they can't tell me. Now, if I ask you a question about like you know, ice cream, well, what do you like about peppermint stick ice cream? Well, I like it because it has peppermint in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the point being is, folks, try to pay attention to what you're drinking, because to me that's telling me you're not paying attention to what you're drinking.
Yeah.
You know? Why do you like wine? You like it because, hey, it's you know, it's acidic, it's tannic, it's got, you know, maybe it's got a little bit of oak, maybe it's got a little blackberry. I mean, these are things that anybody can taste. You don't need to be a wine connoisseur. You just have to pay attention.
You know, and if you're not paying attention, then you're just guzzling.
That's my point. That's right, and that's my point. That's why here, Pete and I, you know, we do. It's a systematic way in which you try to enjoy wine. You want to take it for all that it has to offer.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and these are, I mean, there's a lot of effort that goes into these wines. I mean, the amount of work it takes just to grow a grapevine, it takes what, 3 or 4 years before you even get one full harvest out of a you know, out of a grapevine, and then you got to plant acres and acres and acres of them just to get, you know, a suitable quantity of wine to make the economics work. And then you're captive to Mother Nature, wherever you live, and you could have wet years, you could have dry years, you could have fires, you could have drought, you could have insects. And a lot of these winemakers, you know, some of them are the good ones, the ones who stick around, and there's some that bounce around and turn into consultants, really, and they, you know, they have make a good living for themselves blending wines with different vineyards, and you know, it's an art to it, but it's a lot of effort to you know, put a bottle out for Joe consumer to buy. So I don't try to. We obviously try to bash winemakers now and then, but you know, and you know, really when something doesn't sell, or you know that's your evidence that something is not good. So, but again, we talked a little bit about label bias. We talk about producer bias. Obviously, people buy certain wines just because they know who they are, and that's why they sell. But doesn't mean they're great. So that's the flip side of the argument.
You know, in saying all that, I mean, the wine, you know, viticulture and the winemaking industry, to have a vineyard, to you know, curate the vineyard, to go through the process of picking grapes and having your staff. We're talking arduous physical work. You know, it's not easy work. So these people have put a lot of time, you know, some pain. You know, his happiness comes out of it, but I mean, this is like, and I think we've mentioned this before. It's you know, a labor of love, kind of. You know, they're very passionate about it. Yeah,
it is, because you know, and if you're in Napa, Sonoma, you know, Sonoma, I mean, what's an acre? $1 million? I mean,
well, Napa, yeah.
You know, $1 million an acre, and if you want to be making wine, you know, that's a pretty hefty investment to you know, for that kind of venture, you know, unless you're like really good, and you know, obviously some ego comes into it, but guess what, you know, if you come through, you're going to do really well, and obviously have a nice career in wine, but it's hard work, and a lot of these wineries, and some of them obviously from the fires earlier this year didn't, you know, took a damage, and you know, obviously it was heartbreaking to hear, but you know, they will move on. But again, it's very hard to do this stuff, and that's why I'm grateful for even the chance to even drink some of these bottles. So, anyway.
Oh, all right, Pete. There you go.
Do you have any? I got out my soapbox, but
that's fine.
We talk about punts. These are kind of these fun little things. These little indentions, you know, from the glass blowing. Well, these aren't really from glass blowing process anymore, but it's sort of like, oh, I can hold it. Okay, so that one's got like a medium-sized punt, and this one's got a little smaller punt. This is the Edmundo one.
Did you notice? Sorry to interrupt. Did you notice the cork?
Oh,
the Edmundo.
No, I didn't.
Cool.
That's cool. Okay.
Obviously, I noticed that right away. I pulled it out. I'm like, oh, there it is, right there. There's the continent.
I was in a rush when I was opening the bottles, and I didn't even think about it.
And it's shaded. You know, Argentina is shaded.
Yeah. And just to let you know, folks, just so no one knows I'm a jerk. Over the last several episodes, I've inquired about, if you're visually impaired or you're blind, how do you buy wine? And and I always had this theory, like these little dots at the bottom,
Oh yeah,
or
yeah.
like some sort of braille. No, they're not. They're not braille. It's a manufacturing. It's like a production marking, where they produce so many bottles in a production run, and they put these dots,
Right. Okay.
and that's for quality control. So I was way.
Well, you took a shot at it. You took a shot at it. There is, and I mentioned it before, there is a French producer, a Titan French producer, Chapoutier.
Yep.
That they have labels that are in Braille. That's a fact. That's
That's right. That is exactly true. I did see those labels, and it's really kind of cool. Although Braille is on the label, you can feel it. I saw it. It was really impressive. I'm surprised no one's really picked up on it, because I think you're missing sort of a market segment there. But anyway,
it was a little selfish. Not selfish, man. That's not the right word. But right, one of the family
self-indulgent.
members
Yeah.
in the family. Right. One
Yeah.
of the family members in the family is blind. The daughter of the initial producer.
Well, some of that comes from personal experiences where they do that. But I honestly think that's I think that's revolutionary if you can do that with all the labels. And I think that, just to open that market up for blind consumers, really. I mean, they drink wine too. They probably have better palates than you and I put together. So.
Oh, no doubt. I bet they have better. You know what? Some of them might even have better palates than master sommeliers.
Exactly. Mm. All right. Well, it's 7:15. I promised to cut this a little bit short because I do have to do some cooking. But by the way, I know Gabrielle had a question about some wine pairings. Believe it or not, I did source some lamb tonight. So I found some lamb. We're gonna do braised lamb shanks on a bed of mashed potatoes and some broccoli.
Sounds delectable.
Yes, and I did use the Mysterio Malbec as the
you can't get away from that.
The liquor or the sauce for the braising liquid. So
there you
go. So I will report back on the.
Please do.
I will, and I think they're going to be amazing. So I don't really have much more to wrap anything up other than, folks, we covered Argentina and Chile. We talked about Cabernet, which for most people don't really realize they do produce it, but we've discovered some fantastic wine here, both sub 20. I believe Emmanuel and I have come to consensus that the Edmundo is our choice for tonight, but the Carmen is still a very quaffable, very good wine, quaffable. Definitely a wine that he and I will both enjoy tonight, and I know Gabrielle will enjoy it tonight too. Yes, happy Thanksgiving, Gabrielle. Thank you very much. So I'm going to end this tonight. I don't know, Emmanuel, do you want to wrap anything up on your end?
Well, I just wanted to say, here, myself and Great American Nosh, Pete here, we're big on basically quality wines for a low cost, which if you can find them now. Both are priced pretty well, but I think the Ed, and I'm not going to tell you what I paid for it because I get a discount, obviously. But I didn't pay a lot. I'll just say that.
That's fine.
Just the folks out there, the Ed is probably something, you know what I mean? Just to try it out because there's not a lot to lose there at $9.99.
It's cheaper than a pizza, maybe.
Maybe you could have it with pizza. I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, you could have it with pizza. I want to see how it holds up to the lamb. I was going to do steak, but I figured lamb would work. All right. Well, awesome. Well, folks, I'm going to wrap this all up. Thank you very much for joining Emmanuel and I. We are going to be back in 2 weeks. I'm very interested to see what he's going to come up with then. But until then, salute, eat, drink, savor.
Salud. Good evening.
Good evening, folks.